Okay, so I was able to get this a day earlier. It was supposed to be here Wednesday. I ended up being able to pick it up at the post office Tuesday because there was an issue with my address. So, awesome. Not so awesome though, I was reading that these Gigabyte cards have a possible issue with their power connectors. Supposedly the serial number, if it starts with 38 or earlier, could have this issue. Mine's at 37. I'm going to open her up and take a look, but I might end up having an issue and having to RMA it. We'll find out. I did rip the box a little bit here. So there we have Gigabyte. Looks like probably instructions, maybe software or something, warranty guide. You don't need any of that stuff. And there we go. There she blows. I'm really curious about these power connectors that I've been reading so much about. So there we have it. I don't know if I've seen, like, there's this cable hanging out here. I don't know if I've seen that on any of the other models. It's a little odd. But there's the power connectors. They look okay for my initial review of them. I'm gonna have to see if I can plug something in. What I was reading was repeatedly plugging and unplugging can push the little connector pieces too far in where they don't make a connection, and that you may need to either open her up or RMA it. I am very much hoping that is not the case. Very nice looking card. Nice heat pipes. Yeah, I'm pretty impressed with this. Hey, look, my cat likes it too. Hey, get out of that box, you jerk. Yeah. So next step, put it into the case and see if my modifications work. And of course, the connectors, you got 3 display ports and 2 HDMI. So you get 1 extra display port. I think it's 2 and 2 on the normal model. That is a pretty card. Pretty big too. I'm really hoping the changes I've made will allow us to fit into my MESHIFY C. Okay, so here's the dilemma. In this computer right now is a Rogue Strix 1070, which is about, I don't know, half an inch smaller than the 3080 I've purchased. And I need to configure these fans in a way to allow me to plug in a bigger card. So basically what I have to do is take off this panel at the bottom of the case right there, and then lower my bottom fan down a couple inches. I might lose a little bit of my cooling efficiency, but it should give me the clearance to install the card. So I have taken off the bottom fan, and I am taking out this panel, if I can, there. And there is a drive cage I'm gonna have to remove, just to show you as I'm progressing here. And while I'm in here, I'm gonna take up that drive cage and I'm gonna clean up that wiring. I've got a couple of extra cables in there that I just like wound in there. I'm gonna take out the ones I don't need. I have a modular power supply, so I'm gonna clean up this mess while I'm doing this. So this would have been infinitely easier to do prior to installing the power supply and running all the cabling, because look at that thing, how deep it is in there. Okay, making progress. A couple of those spare modular cables removed. So there's basically 4 screws for the cage. There's one over here, one there, and we got 2 more down here. You got to remove these from the bottom of the case to get the drive cage off. You can already see it shifting around in there, so I think that might be all that's holding it in place. Yeah, after taking out those 4 screws, this thing, it just Gotta get the cable out of the way and just pull it out. This damn cage is too big to get out this way. You have to pull it out the rear where the power supply goes. So I've got to unhook this power supply to pull this thing out. So there we have the finished product. Unfortunately, I could only get the 2 screws in there. Let's see. I thought I could push it up a little bit higher, but the screws I have will not fit these other side holes here. So I thought I could maybe bring it up about halfway. I might still see if I can figure something out for that. I think I need the different size screw. It's not terrible. I think I'm going to lose a certain amount of air that just goes through there and hopefully doesn't leak out the bottom. I also thought about mounting it on the bottom, pointing upwards. Maybe I'll get a couple of fans to go down there and shoot air upwards. I'm going to see. This thing already ran pretty cool before. This 1070 literally idles at like 30 C, and you know, in gaming it's about 65 C. So here you can really see the disparity between my new card and my old card. I was running a 1070 Rogue Strix, and here you've got the 3080 Gigabyte Gaming OC. You know, one is about, I don't know, a third higher than the other. That's probably the biggest takeaway. And the length's a little different, you know, like a ½ an inch on the end there. Might actually be a little thinner though. It's kind of got this weird cutout here. Yep. So here is the finished product. I've got my 3080 Gigabyte Gaming OC installed. You can see there's not enough clearance there. That fan would not have worked in the upper position. I could maybe move it up, you know, a quarter, ½ an inch. I don't know if I will. I might also buy, if I have some issues with temperatures, a low profile. You can get like a 13mm length, depth fan. But I don't know if I'll need that. You know, after installing the 1070 back in the system, my temperatures only went up a couple of degrees, not enough to really worry about. It was still under 70 C under load, so yeah. Okay, got the power connectors in. They clicked pretty easily. I was thinking about running them below. I ended up running them above just because I didn't want to add any more blockage to the potential airflow below. I know it's not maybe as clean as it could be, but I'm going to leave it as is for now until I know for sure what's going on with these power connectors. Don't want to play with them any more than I have to. So it's not quite as clean as it could be, but I'm happy with it. Now to see if it actually turns on. So here we go. I've got it running now. This is a Uni-Engine supposition benchmark, getting around 100 frames per second, running in 4K. So that's pretty good. I'll have to do some comparisons, but I did the 1080p earlier, and I'm literally in the top 100 for the 1080p right now. You know, it's running. I don't have a lot of RGB if you're looking for that. That's not really what I'm doing right now. But it's running pretty damn good. Yeah, it's really beautiful benchmark. And that's 110, 120 frames per second. It looks like average is 105 on the 4K. And here's just a couple of benchmarks that I've run. It's running beautifully. It idles around 40 and it maxes out around 69 C. So it's running really cool for how fast it's running. I played a couple of games on it. I'll have some footage up later this week, but I'm super impressed with it. No issues with the power issue that some people have experienced. No temperature issues, no power issues. Yeah, so I'll have some footage up. I've played a little bit of Control, I've played Borderlands and Rainbow Six Siege, and I'm going to have some Avengers footage and a couple of the new games, but right now I'm super impressed with the video card in combination with my new 34-inch ultra-wide monitor. This is Control running here at native resolution with ray tracing enabled, and literally every bell and whistle I could turn on, and it's getting about 100 frames per second. So yeah, it is running really, really well. yeah, so keep an eye out for some new footage of games from my 3080, my new monitor, my new computer. I've got a ton of videos for all kinds of new games on my channel. Check out some if you like them. Think about subscribing.
All these years
And
I've been
again,
looking for them, and they
thank you
were
for
hiding
watching.
in plain sight.